Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Cho, Assistant Professor of Global Business. Today I'm very happy to share some of my research. I'm still working on this research to complete, so I just want to let you know that I'm presenting preliminary result for this research. My research is about investigating the critical determinants of EV adoption in the United States using agent-based model by collecting various data. In these presentations, I will start with the research objectives, and I want to address various factors of customer determinants regarding electric vehicles. Due to the data constraints, the evidence is limited. So after looking into various factors by collecting data, we incorporate those data into agent-based model. And I will present some of the preliminary results based on this model. Finally, I will share some practical implications and limitations and future research directions. This research contributes to the literature by demonstrating the use of agent-based modeling to investigate the consumer awareness effects of electric vehicles under various scenarios and the practical implications of the measure and innovation policy in the EV sector. We will discuss and present the findings in our models so that they become useful for researchers, manufacturers, practitioners, and policymakers in order to incorporate customers' critical determinant in their decision-making process. There are various reasons to use electric vehicles, but the main ones are environmental factors associated with the global warming and CO2 reduction and improving energy security. Also, an electric vehicle requires 10,000 fewer components than in the internal combustion vehicles that we are using. If everyone adopts EVs, it will completely change the industrial landscape and value chains. This figure shows us the length of the history of electric vehicle industry has. In the early stages, electric vehicles failed due to various reasons such as price, limited performance, and lack of infrastructures. And however, currently the EV segment is growing, getting larger than ever before by offering different types of vehicles. Here are the main market barriers preventing consumers from adopting electric vehicles. General understanding and range anxiety have been partially addressed, but they still discourage customers from having electric vehicles. So charging infrastructure has been expanding, but issues such as long charging hours and lack of charging stations persist. Another major obstacle is related to safety issues. If an electric vehicle catches fires, it takes longer to manage it. Sometimes it even needs to be submerged in a water tank to extinguish the fire, leading to higher insurance premiums. Even though many efforts have been made to promote electric vehicle adoption in the United States, but currently EVs account for about 5.8% of all new cars sold in the United States. Various factors may affect the consumer adoption of EVs, such as cost, charging time, charging infrastructure, vehicle performance, range anxiety, safety, and etc. So significant factors leading to low market share of the EV can be found when you use an agent-based model with the inductive and deductive approach. So some of our research questions are, is the financial incentive the most effective method to increase the rate of adoption of electric vehicle? What impact does the economic incentive have on the adoption of electric vehicle? And what impacts does charging stations have on the adoption of electric vehicles? And others. As you can see from this chart, California leads in the EV adoption rates and charging infrastructure. The heat map also highlights the California as one of the regions with the highest electric vehicle usages. Another data that we were able to gather is average gas price and electricity price over time by state. So there might be a correlation between gas and electricity price, and electric vehicle adoption. We will identify using panel data set. One of the critical factors contributing to EV adoption is the federal level incentives offering 7,500 tax credits. This incentive was recently extended for another 10 years starting in January 2023. With this change, the 200K tax credit cap has also been reset for EV manufacturers like GM, Toyota, and Tesla. Next, I want to present the research model that I developed to identify decision-making process in EV adoption. As you can see, to simulate the market adoption of EVs in the residential sector, we incorporate some of the key features to promote the adoption of EVs in these simulations. The study explores a set of variables, characteristics like social demographic information, vehicle price, gas price, financial incentive, charging infrastructures, and network effects regarding the adoption of EVs. Agent-based model considers heterogeneity rather than homogeneity, as well as complex interaction structure among agents and between agent and environment. So first, we developed the model by specifying the agent, environment relationship among agent and decision-making process of individual agents. Second, a set of variables and procedures are determined to account for the social network, driving habits, social demographic attributes, consumers' preference, and decision criteria on EVs. And next, the model determines the maximum interaction radius and the number of random interactions using behavior space for the minimum number of the links that creates 100% awareness. The model simulates actual values for gas price, EV price, and incentive in the United States to test and verify the operations of the model using boundary values. So each consumer falls into four possible status under the EV aware but not persuaded, persuaded but not decided, and finally decided. For example, a consumer shift from unaware to aware by either advertising from automakers or by word of mouth, controlled by the interaction radius and the random interaction in this model. Here are some of our model results which do not follow the traditional S-curve. As you can see from these figures, the agent-based model can illustrate how customers respond differently to electric vehicles based on their varying perceptions. Here are some of our research results. As you can see from these figures, given recent gas price around 2.3 per gallon, the EV price of small and medium-sized vehicles would have to be lower than 21,000 in order to reach the 50% inflection point on its growth path, which symbolizes the uptake in EVs in the automotive industry. If the gas price is adjusted higher, like 2 years ago, EV price range would be higher to 37,000 to reach the same level of adoption. Based on this result, we can understand why Nissan Leaf, one of the highly visible battery EVs, has successfully entered in mainstream of the EV market since it was introduced and starting price 26,000 after the federal tax credit 7,500 for the Nissan Leaf in December 2010. On the other hand, finance incentives have a little effect on EV adoption, in particular when compared to the result of the EV price, small and medium-sized vehicles. 1,000 difference was made in achieving the 50% of EV adoption rate, along with the 500 lower financial incentive at both $4 per gallon and $3 per gallon gas price, respectively. This study assumes that the charging infrastructure should be in place around consumer household in order to shift in stage of decided. Likewise, one of the key success factors of Tesla is that it has deployed supercharging station infrastructure and has formed partnership with the local and regional and state government along with the electricity utilities to foster the development of EV-friendly policies. The simulation results support the idea that EV and gas prices are more significant factors than financial incentive in adopting EVs. We found some of the practical implications from this research. From this research, we identified the importance of gas price and vehicle price in the EV adoption. The result also show how effective such government incentives are in promoting EV adoption. This study can help marketers understand how they can increase the adoption to overcome the chasm by observing which household are aware of the technology but do not adopt. The higher the price preference, the quicker the increase in the number of the adopters. Because the behavior of the model is easily described by decision making of the individuals in this model, this can be regarded as emergent behavior. However, there are many unknowns that may make the model of limited value for decision-making purposes because the participation of the network of stakeholders in the overall value chain may directly or indirectly affect the EV adoptions. To get better results, we need to continue collecting more reliable data to validate our research model and findings. We will keep conducting more research to explore the role of the consumer's attitudes and perceptions in shaping the demand of the electric vehicles. But for the research, conducting survey to identify consumer behavior factors in detail help us to enhance this agent-based simulation. Many studies have tried to estimate various barriers of EV adoption and effect of the policy instruments based on the attributes of the EVs. However, there are only a few studies available to help policymakers, manufacturers make appropriate decisions at various situations. So to fill this gap, we are particularly interested in knowing how the implementation process can be affected by the policy mix, technological changes, external environmental factors, economic incentive for our future research. These are some of the references that I used. Thank you so much for your attention and listening to my presentation. I welcome any questions and feedback you may have. Thank you so much.